Okay, this is started. So now I have to go on my page and make it visible for
You want?
everybody to be able to see. And I'm going to tag you on your page if you want.
Yeah, just tag me on her manners, not on Andrea. I know I accepted as Andrea, but that's my personal page.
Okay,
I didn't
so
know to change it, so I thought that wouldn't delay this even more. You look beautiful.
thank you, and you too. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I am just trying to get this party started in a minute, and we have a special guest in the house, which I'm going to get to you pretty shortly. Just give me 1 second, and I'm going to allow Facebook to do their thing and just let people know that we are here and we will have this party started right away. Perfect. So, okay. And this is public now. Good morning, Andrea.
Hi, good morning.
It's so good to see you. Good morning, Facebook family. It's
Hi.
so good to see everyone. I'm just waiting for 1 second. Maybe Facebook would notify people that we're here online and just get them coming online. Guys, you don't want to miss this session. Thank you so much for being there. I know that we had to start at 9:30, but it was impossible for our guest. She had something hold her back, and so it's we really have to apologize for this. And I put a post up there that we're going to start at 10. I hope that you are able to see the post, and we will have you here momentarily. So I just shared that on my Facebook page. And just one more. I'm trying to do this now. Yes, people, we are almost there. Mm, okay, perfect. So we have viewers jumping on. So, good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Now, just so you know that if you're joining from any other page apart from my personal page, I might not be able to see your name right away. But I do appreciate you, and I want you to know that I love you so much. And I appreciate your time for being here on a Saturday morning when you should be sleeping in and just enjoying the summer, but you're here with me. Thank you so much. So, guys, this is the Civilized Presence, and we are here 9:30 a.m. every Mondays and Fridays, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, on Monday, we had to be on a break because of the Canada's Day and the Americans' Independence Day. We did not joke with that. We had to go on a break and just celebrate with everyone who was celebrating. Now, it's good for you to know that this is our 20th session. So, this is session number 20. And I am so excited. I have some likes there. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. So you are live. If you're here and you're seeing me right now, you are live and you're special. And if for any reason some of you cannot make it here live, I still do appreciate you. The only thing that I request of you is to just get in the comment box below and let us know that you're watching this on a replay. Okay. So thank you so much. This is session number 20. Like we have been paddling along since April when we started, it has been fun. We have had different people from different works of life. We've had different experts. Trust me, we have been having great fun. If you've been part of our party every Mondays and Fridays, you can testify to this. So if this is your first time being here, welcome to the Civilized Presence. You are in the right place at the right time to receive the right message. So hang on tight. I'm bringing in something really great for you. So let me tell you why we started this Facebook series. We did this because, and I mean, the Facebook series, really, the main focus of this Facebook series is to restore civility through meaningful and constructive conversations. Okay. So, people have been asking questions. What is civility? What is etiquette? What is manners? How difficult is it? Do we have to get trained first and go to school before we can be civil? No, guys, it's as easy as saying please and thank you. I mean, this morning, did you get a chance to say good morning to somebody that you saw, or maybe even your neighbor? How many of you know the names of your neighbors? A lot of us don't even say hello to our neighbors. That's okay. You can begin from today. So it could be as easy as just even sharing a compliment. Like I'm going to say to beautiful Andrea, you look amazing this morning, Andrea. And
Ah,
you would make somebody's day. Okay. So being civil really is to take responsibility to ease the experience of somebody else. It's all about people's treatment. It's nothing difficult. And so, if you're still struggling with what this is, I would encourage you to just follow us as we go along. Thank you, RC Claire. Can you let us know where you're calling from? I can see some other people on the line. Hello, Esther from Nigeria. Thank you so much. IZ from Canada. Thank you. Sandra from UK. Thank you. Buki. Whoo, thank you so much from Nigeria. And I have a Ajua from Ghana. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate you. So we have been doing this since the month of April, okay? And in the month of May, we focused on the global civility awareness. And we had a chat. We had a 31 days challenge. I don't know how many of you were part of that, but it was fun. And it wasn't anything difficult, guys. And in the month of June, what we did was work on civility and community. So bringing it back home, driving it back home. How does it affect everyone? How can you be civil? How can you foster civility amongst people around you in your community, in your school, in your church? It doesn't matter where you find yourself, in the grocery store. That is what we had to do. In the health sector, we brought in experts from different works of lives who were part of this. And thank you so much, Cambridge Creative Campus, for sharing this video. I do appreciate you. I can see all the shares coming up. Thank you. So this was just fun. And you know what? For the month of July, we have something totally different. We're taking you through the 25 rules of civility. And we will be focusing on our main resource is really going to be, the book from Dr. Funny, 25 Rules. And I'm not saying that we're not going to be having our experts. Of course, we will be, but the main focus will really be to work on this, guys. So thank you so much for being here. So for those of you who do not or have never ever met me, my name is Louisa Akaiso, and I am a certified Master Civility Trainer and a Golden Rule Civility Statesman and a leadership expert. Now, if you want to know what I do, I work confidently with leaders and professionals that place great importance on themselves and their reputation. And I know that's going to be you this morning because you made out time to be here. Now, I'm not going to take so much of your time because I know you're asking, who is this beautiful lady on the screen? And I'm going to introduce her. Just give me a moment. Okay. So if you had a chance to look at the flyer, you would have seen the topic of today. Okay, we've worked with experts from the health field, like I explained to you. We've talked about leadership. We've talked about civility in schools. And before I go to what we have for today, let me share with you what is the definition of civility. And really, we will be using the definition from civility experts worldwide. And so that definition is that civility is a conscious awareness of the impact of one's thoughts, actions, words, and intentions on others, combined with a continuous acknowledgement of one's responsibility to ease the experience of others. Example, through restraint, kindness, non-judgment, respect, and courtesy, and a consistent effort to adopt and exhibit civil behavior as a non-negotiable point of one's character. So if you think that this was pretty long, that's okay. What I need you to take away from this session is that civility is focused on people's treatment. How do you take responsibility to ease the experience of the next person and be responsible for your own actions? Okay, we're not going to push it to your mom or your dad. It is your responsibility to ease the experience of the person next to you. So back to the gig for the day. The topic for today is really fostering civility amongst dignitaries. And some of you could have asked, what is she talking about? Listen, I'm talking about the very important people that are part of this world, of course. It's a really tiny segment of people that not a lot of them, I wish I could be part of them. I try to treat myself as a VIP, but we're talking about royalties. We're talking about the people in the government, okay? This very important people. And I know that, last month we had the royal wedding. That was great. It gave us a good peep at what is happening in the palace and the royal family. And we would want to learn more. I'm sure a lot of us, like me, would wish that we could work with one of them. But it takes a lot to be able to find yourself there. So before we get into the conversation for today, let me introduce to you our guest for today. So, Andrea, I'm just going to say hello just before I introduce you to our audience.
It's nice to meet you once again. I'm so sorry for the delay today. I am actually in Switzerland at the moment, and jazz festival is happening. For those of you who are around or nearby, it's a big event. It's one of the biggest events in Montreux. So a couple of the trains were having a few problems, so I just got stuck a bit in the train station.
That's
But I
fine.
ran to get here, and I'm very excited to be with you, Louisa. Thank you.
Yes, and we are so excited to have you here too. So, if you're wondering who Andrea is, I'm going to read this remarkable, impressive resume from Andrea. So, she is Andrea Stefanesco. Did I pronounce it right? Forgive me if I did not.
A very
Okay. And she is a lead VVIP flight attendant in an award winning international luxury flight services provider in UAE. And she works with the royal families in the Middle East, as well as head of states and important figures in the global arena. She has been trained with quite a number of great people, trust me, one of which is the VIP steward of the Queen in London. Guys, you are in the right place, so you need to sit tight and learn more about this. And she's also a lead silver service trainer. And we're going to learn more about all of that. Another thing that is about Andrea that's interesting is her company, Her Manners, which is an online platform for cultural diversity, manners, modern etiquette, and aviation. And Andrea as well is also an alumni of the prestigious The English Manor School in the UK. Okay, if you're dreaming about working with the royal family, I think you want to go get some training done. She's also an alumni of the Protocol School of Washington, and the last finishing school, she's going to tell us about that, what she's doing in Switzerland, and that is the greatest, guys. So, Andrea, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, my first question to you, usually, how this runs is that we just kind of give you some questions and get some answers from you, get you to educate our viewers. And sometimes we might have a question right in the box, and I'll pass that on to you. Like we have Ella from Virginia who is saying hello. Hi, Ella. It's so good to see you. Yes, she sent a surprise sign. She's surprised to see us on Saturday. This is a special one. So thank you so much, Ella. Ella has been a presenter here. She is a strong person to reckon with in the healthcare field, and you will get to meet Ella Tamufor. Okay, so my first question to you, Andrea, would be, what does civility mean to you? It's important that we know what civility means to you and how important is civility in the work that you do as a lead VVIP aviation expert that has worked with these important people. What does civility mean to you? Over to you, Andrea.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Civility to me, I think it's at the base of any kind of civilization and any kind of society. It does evolve with time, and I think, as I spoke to you recently, because of my experience in aviation, I've seen the world expand. I've seen the world have less and less borders, and people becoming citizens of the world. So probably a few years back, I would have said that civility is based a lot on the golden rule of you should treat the other person the way you would like to be treated. And that's the main rule of etiquette, of good manners, of civility. However, as I said, as the world expands, I think the platinum rule is more and more important, and you should treat the other person the way they would like to be treated. Because we have to understand our way of doing things is not necessarily the right way of doing things. And as much as, for example, in Europe and in Latin countries, we love to be hugged, and I love to meet a person and for them to come and kiss me, and we're very physical. If I meet a person from China, from India, from Japan, I would have to acknowledge the fact that they would just not be comfortable with me going to hug them. So, in that perspective, and from the fact that the world is more borderless, I think civility adapted with these times, and modern civility implies that you should treat the other person the way they would like to be treated. To be more aware of the other cultures, to be more aware of how others would feel comfortable. So I think that's the base of modern society today.
Thank you so much, Andrea. I'm just going to recognize some other people that have come online. Hello, Yvette. Thank you so much, sister from Virginia. I appreciate your being here. Thank you. And I have Cynthia. I don't know where you're calling from, but please let me know where you're calling in from because we really appreciate you that you made out time to be here. You are special to us. Thank you, Andrea. So moving along. One of the areas that underpins civility is cultural competence. Okay, and I had seen through your bio your interest in cultural competence or cultural diversity. Now, can you tell the audience about how cultural competence and leadership skills is fundamental in the work that you do? Over to you, Andrea.
Um, See, when you start to work in leadership positions nowadays, and as I said, the world is becoming more and more borderless. You would rarely have to lead a team of people that come from the same cultures and the same nationality, the same country, the same background. So, being aware of how people work, being aware of their cultures, it's one of the most important leadership skills one can have. And I think it gives that competitive edge on an increasingly more competitive global arena. So, I think even in an environment, the biggest turnovers that companies face today is the fact that they're not focused on being aware of cultural differences. So, from that perspective, I think it's something that everybody should look into. Your neighbor, you might not know their name, but you might be aware that they don't come from the same culture as you do. So it's
Right.
important to acknowledge where people come from and to be curious. It's so beautiful if we would live in a world where everyone is a bit curious about each other. I recently had a leadership course with an amazing person who used to work in Nestle. And his name is Mr. Lancaster. And Mr. Lancaster said that when he used to be the manager of Nestle, he used to make it a priority for him to have lunch with every single employee, which is
Mm,
fascinating. So
mm.
he have a one-on-one time with every single person in the company. That must have taken him a year and a half Slaves, but he put that personal touch and effort just to get to know every person and acknowledge that they come from different backgrounds and that they need different sets of appreciation. I think Mr. Chapman wrote, I'm so sorry if I get the name wrong. You know the person that wrote the seven languages of love.
Right.
Yes, so he wrote also the seven languages of appreciation, where he's explaining that a leader should not acknowledge every employee's achievements in a certain way and only one way.
Mm.
While I might be happy from the culture I come from to be acknowledged as the employee of the year, another person coming from another background might to them might not mean anything for them to be employee of the year and have
Mhm.
their picture framed on the wall. So they might be encouraged by maybe a financial bonus, which for me wouldn't mean as much. So if that makes sense, there is
Right.
different kinds of appreciation of appreciating people, and that has a lot to do with cultural awareness, when with getting to know at the personal level the employees that you have. So
Thank you so much for pressing on. Thank you so much, guys. I'm just going to go back to the audience. If you can give us the likes and the loves, we really will appreciate that, because Facebook does something wonderful when there's a lot of loves and likes. They'll be able to share this video for as much people that would want to have a look at it. And I know that because you had an interest in this topic and that's why you're here, I'm sure that you will have people on your platform who would want to learn more about what we do. Can you please just, give us the hearts, like this video, share it on your page, and so other people can have access to this. So, Andrea, I am just going to say that in my practice as a civility expert, the conventional client does not really fall into the category that you work with. Can you please give the audience a synopsis of what it is like to work with these royalties or presidents or VIPs? I mean, is it exciting? That's the first question I have for you. And the second thing is, are you constantly on your tippy toes trying to make things happen? Over to you.
yes, thank you, Louisa. Um, I think the most important idea, yes, is it exciting? Definitely. Very exciting to work with them. And at times I would look at the TV, and I think this was the first sentence I heard when I joined Royal Aviation. So when I left VIP and I went into, in Middle East, they call it VVIP, which is Royal Aviation. So the moment I started working with heads of state and royalties, they told us to look at the TV, and wherever things are happening in the world, we'll know that the next day we're going to travel there. So, of course, it's exciting. Sometimes you get to see your plane and you get to see the people that you fly with. And the media is always there when you open the door of the aircraft. However, on the back of my mind, I'll always try to act around the people that come on board the same way as I would treat the people I had in commercial aviation. And I think that's what they love. If there was an advice I could, if any of the private flight attendants are listening to us, or if this video ever goes to them, um, they're so used, the people that we fly with, to be treated exceptionally, for everyone to sweat around them, and for people to just lose their mind when they come on board, that they just love to feel like they're normal people. They sometimes pay attention a lot more than we think to how you treat their entourage. Like, they would come with nannies, they would come with bodyguards on board, and they will actually appreciate to see how you treat the people around them, and if you treat them the same way. I know we believe that they want to be treated extra special and for you to almost faint in their in front of them. Not true. And to be honest, you try to put yourself in their place, and you just want to have a moment of peace, and you just want to be treated
Right.
well. And the moment the doors of the aircraft close, I can feel that they relax. Their guard just goes down, and they want to feel like this is my personal space, and I'm like home, and it's in my intimate space. So I would never actually approach them and
Mm.
ask for God forbid a photo or an autograph or anything, because it would just be unprofessional. I think they just genuinely want
Absolutely.
treated like they're human, and they're part of a group. And so yes, it is exciting, but sometimes you keep your excitement to yourself and just look at them and their needs like human. End of the day, they are human.
This is interesting. So I'm going to go back to the audience. I have Kate Olubakinde. Thank you so much, sis, from Nigeria. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Now I have some more people join. Like I said, if I haven't mentioned your name, I still love you very much. It's just that I am not able to see you yet. So what you can do for me is just jump in the comment box below and say, hello, Louisa. I am calling from da da da. And then, of course, I will be happy to get your name on the screen. And guys, if you do have a question, we have the expert in the house. You cannot be asking me about the royalties when she's gone. So please get the questions pumping right now. She's here. Okay. So, Andrea, I have another question for you. So, I do know that personal and professional empowerment through civility and social skills should be a fundamental requirement for those who work or have to serve this royalties or VIPs. Now, could you let the audience know what are the basis of recruitment? Is it possible to get a job? Do you have to be a member of the royal family to work with the royalties? And what are the steps? I'm sure there are a lot of people who would want to, I would like to work with them, if I was given an opportunity to, but let us know what is important. What are the do's and the don'ts? I do know that you're also an expert with body language and professional presence. And so I really want you to give us some really concrete points as to what is important, what is needed of someone who would like to be around or serve or work with these people. Over to you, Andrea.
Thank you. I know a lot of people are curious about this, Louisa. So I'm just gonna say this: there is a chance. So it's maybe, I would say, less than 10% of the flight attendants that ever worked with royalties or VIPs that have gone straight to working for them. As in, they had that stroke of luck where somebody from the recruiters just saw them and they found their presence so elegant and their attitude so humble, or perhaps sometimes it actually happens. Oh, sorry. Do you hear me, Louisa?
Yes, I can.
I thought I lost you for a moment. So,
No.
um, that it would be this, but it's a stroke of luck, and at times the VIPs, they would have like a certain pattern of girl. Like, I would like a girl from Russia with blonde eyes, like with blue eyes and like blonde hair. Sometimes it happens. It's not the best, but it is the reality in VIP. They would have like a certain pattern of girl and they would just like her to come on board. So, but that is very rare. It's just, as I said, less than 10%. Most of the girls that end up in private aviation and at this level, they would actually have to go through commercial aviation. The
Okay.
way I started, it was because I joined Emirates Airlines in the Middle East. So I would go to an open day. The recruitments in an open day are can be varied, but the one thing, if I can advise the audience, that the recruiters are looking for, is that actually they're not checking to see if you're right. So there will be a group discussion in every recruitment for VIP or for a commercial. And what people believe in that group discussion is that they have to be right. So if I talk to you and another girl right now, I'll want my response to be the one that stands out. Uh,
Mm,
they ask us about places to visit in Switzerland. I'll have to be so enthusiastic that my answers will just stand out. That's what people
mm,
believe. Well, I have to highlight this, that this is very wrong, and this is what gets people actually not recruited in aviation. What recruiters are looking for through the group discussion is how well you interact with everyone in the group. So, for example, if one of us will be talking less, they'll want to see that genuine empathy towards people. So they'll have a look and they'll say, "Okay, Maria, what do you think? You haven't said much, so you remember people's name and you acknowledge them around." So, getting back to the civility questions, I think civility is the number one request in aviation. They genuinely are looking for people that work well in groups, that take care of how others feel. So the recruitment in aviation doesn't actually start the moment you just leave your CV or you talk to recruiters. The recruitment actually happens in between. So
mm,
they will actually have a look at how you treat others, the staff in the hotel they're recruiting. So they will, on my recruitment day, what they did is that they turned off the AC. It's really horrible, but it's something that sometimes they do. They turned off the AC, and we were 800 people waiting in the reception. And they were actually looking to see how we react. Who loses their temper? Who just treats others really bad? Because after a certain delay, you will. It's human nature that your true personality just comes out.
mm.
So the having the right attitude and being humble and being genuine towards other human beings. This is what they're looking for. The moment you go into private aviation, I think the number one extra personality attribute that they'll be looking for is the humility.
Mm, mm. It looks like we lost Andrea there. We're just trying to get her back. Hello, Andrea. Guys, we're still on. I'm not quite sure what happened to Andrea. We're going to try to see how we can bring her back. But you can see how important it is, guys, to be civil. You do not have any hiding spot. And this is Andrea, who is working every single day with royalty. She's working with the royal family, and she's talking about humility. Guys, there is no other way for you to be successful. We say it here every Mondays and Fridays that it's very important on the way that you treat the next person to you. People's treatment should be your number one. When you step out in the morning, think about what can I do to make the world a better place? How can you be the change that you want to see in the world? We keep hoping, a lot of us beat ourselves up and we're thinking so many things are happening. Every single day we have cases of suicide. We have terrible stories that are happening in the media. There isn't so much great news in the media these days. But did you ever think about you just intentionally stepping out and just wanting to be the change and just taking responsibility for your actions and saying sorry if you have to say sorry? I mean, do not be proud. Be humble. You see, and there are things that we thought was important. I personally thought you had to be part of the royal family to work with them, but no, look at the things that they look out for. These people are people like us, but they're tiny little things, social skills that takes you to the top. So guys, we lost her there, but we were able to get a good chunk from Andrea, and she was calling in from Switzerland. You could see there was so much noise over there. I hope that you were able to hear her clearly. And so, moving along for the month of July, like I said, we are really going to be focusing on the 25 rules of being civil, considerate conduct. If you think that you've been struggling with this and you do not know what this is about and you are interested, you can get on our website. It's www.thecivilityacademy.com. And we have training coming true to you. We have trainings online. We have a training coming in Virginia. We have in London, UK, in Nigeria, in Ghana. Let us know how you want to be part of what we're doing. So as you step out today, guys, pay attention to the next person. Apologize earnestly. Refrain from having complaints and accept and give constructive criticism if you have to. Stay away from fighting the next person. It's all about sharing love and respect and just being responsible for what we're doing and treating others the way that we want to be treated. The golden rule, or if you want to work with the platinum rule, it's up to you. It's all about people's treatment and adding value to the next person. So I'm going to say that thank you so much, all of you, for making out time to be here. All of those who have shared our videos, I appreciate you. I've seen quite a number of shares. Thank you. Thank you, Andrea, for making out time out of your busy schedule to fit us in. So we will continue on Monday, and we'll be here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It looks like Andrea is trying to come on board again. I'm just going to bring her to say goodbye. Hello, Andrea.
Hi, I'm so
Hi. No problem. I'm just going to get you on again. Um, I am doing this right now, guys. We have Andrea trying to come up. Perfect. So, Andrea, thank you so much. So, we
this
can see you. Yeah, we have you again on the broadcast. That's fine.
yes.
Thank you. So, we're just rounding up. It's the top of the hour. And thank you for all of the points that we gathered today and how important it is for us to be humble, important it is for us to treat the next person to us the way that we want to be treated. And like I just talked to our audience, that the royalties are not animals, they're not scary beings. Trust me, they want to be with you. And you just have to be civil. And Andrea has said that over and over again. I never thought that the recruitment process could just be as easy as that. And that's something that people would never think about, because it's so easy for us to have people swearing at the next person. I mean, turning off the air conditioning. Wow. A lot of people that I know is going to be swearing. It's like, get me out of here. That's interesting. So, Andrea, do you want to say goodbye to the audience, or is there something else you might want to add to us?
Um, well, no, actually, I'm so sorry for the interruption earlier
No
because
problem.
the iPad apparently got heated. I wanted to show you the whole Villa Pierrefeu around.
Okay.
And for those of you who want to join private aviation, I was about to say that humility is the most important. They will never recruit someone that is not humble. Because the biggest challenge, I think, when you reach private aviation is that you might lose contact with reality. So, being a modest person, being humble in who you are, in your presence, in the way you treat the others, I think it's the biggest and the most important attribute that they'll be looking for. Because a lot of the times we believe that they'll recruit the most glamorous people and the people that have like this luxurious presence in the room, and it's never the case. They really want the people that are real, that are genuine, that are humble, that smile at the other. Maybe a bit more of a morning person, because sometimes you have these departures early morning and you're just smiling at the other person is not the easiest. But I when you reach aviation, even if you are the president of the most important country in the world and you're the richest man in the world, you just generally want to see a smiling face and a genuine smiling face when you reach the the whatever transportation will take you to work and whatever your work is. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for really filling us in with what happens in that part of the world, because I remember so well the royal wedding, and everyone was so excited. Trust me, I was glued onto my screen for hours. I literally was waiting to see the queen's bedroom, but that didn't happen. But that's okay. So we were so excited with everything that's happening, because this tiny group of people, it's such a tiny segment of people in the world who are so special. We want to know what makes them happy. Are they the same as me? And, would they relate to you the same way? Do they treat people badly? And what do they really want? What makes them happy? And so thank you for closing that gap, knowledge gap for me this morning, because I have learned a lot. And we will be excited and happy to bring you back again when you do have a minute again in your busy schedule. I know that you're always on the go, but thank you. Thank you so much, and Dryer, from
Thank
the
you.
bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Thank you, our viewers, for being here. And it's the top of the hour, and I'll see you again, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday. Bye for now.